we'll be covering our object-oriented programming, where we will be covering our all the things which we initially need for for Selenium or for Java. And from next week onwards, we'll directly jump onto our WebDriver. All right.
Okay.
So let's start now. All right. So here I have, and I hope you have installed this on your system, right? Selenium.
Yeah, I have installed Selenium 4, Selenium WebDriver 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think so. It will be work for me right now. So I have to, once you have to help me out for the install the library of the Selenium.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that. So should we start first of all, and then we'll look into that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. So here, let's talk about the access modifier. So we know, right? There are 3 to 4 access modifier we have. So I will go one by one. I will create one program to give you just brief about that. How we can access and what kind of issue we face in terms of accessing our access modifier, different kind of data members and methods in the package or outside package. So let's start. Side by side, I will tell you why it's not accessing. So here I'm gonna create one package here. So let's say let me just give only just one. So here I'm just creating one package. This is my source. So package, under package will be covering one project. Let's create one project here, or directly we can do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's create a Java program here. So let me just create one class here. So if I, let's say access one, I'm just creating by default. And here, all right, so this is my class. Let me close other stuffs so that you will not be confused. All right, so here, all right, so this is my access class. And if I create, so here what we can do, we can create default, and then we can have a public, and then we can have a private, and then also we can have a private. So these are the modifier which we use. Or I would say for security reason as well, we use this different access modifier. So let's try to see. Let me create, we know how we can create the object, what is the class, what is the object and all that. So here I will gonna create one variable here. So rs, integer, and I'm just giving as a 3 to this. And there's one more variable if I'm creating here, it's a minute. Okay, and here I'm giving it's like 47 minutes something, any number we can give here. So now this is my one class, and the class name is access1, and I have created 2 data members here. I just want to access this data member within a package actually. So what I will gonna do, I will create one more class here in same package, and I can give this one as a access2, and if I come here, there's a shortcut key for main. You have to just press control and space. So the method pop-up will come, and you can select your main from here. So that's the facility in Selenium we have. So control and space bar, you can press together, and you can find this main method. All right. So to access this, because I know this data member is not a static, this data number is not, so we have to create object for this in some other class. So what you can do here is, we don't need to extend this class because it's in same package, because we are having both the classes in same package. So what we're gonna do here, we'll create a object of this one. So let me copy this one, and if I create object, let's say A, I'm just giving as a reference. and then new, and then, all right. So this is my object. I created my object. And if I just want to print all this system dot or system out dot println a dot rs, you can find rs is there. So let me just try this one. Another one, if I want to access, and I'll just change this to minute. Okay, minute. So see, when you have a default access modifier, your icon will be this one. So whenever you will be having different access modifier, your icon will be changed. So this is for, for default. Here, what happened? We have not given anything here. We didn't give any public, we didn't give any private, protected, anything. So if I'm not giving anything, in this case, what it will be? It will be my, default one. So default can access within a package without any issue. So I didn't do anything. I just create my object. I created my object here, and I can access my data member using that object. So that's easy, and we can run, and you can see the output here. All right, so let me run this. So output is there. So this is the thing. So in interview perspective as well, we can access our default access modifier within a package. Okay. So any questions so far?
No.
No, right? You're good. I think you work right on this, so you know all this, right? Or you
Yeah.
you know all this, right? Okay. Okay. So now, if you talk about the public, so public access modifier work as a default access modifier actually, and you can also access those data members across your package.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you are accessing in different package, then you need to import that
Package also. Package
Yes.
and class
So
only.
quickly we will look into that, and we'll move forward. So we'll not waste our time. This is just to brush up our things, and then we'll jump. Yeah. So public, I'm not changing anything. So here again, I'll be giving as a public, and everything will be same. And if you come here, let's save this. And if you come here, and I didn't, let's say this one package. Okay. So let me try to save this. So here I can access, there is no issue. The output will be same, but let me try to have same classes, or let me create one more actually here. So the package will be, again, there will be one package here. So I will give any package, say paste 2, and I just want to use same here. Let's drop and paste here so that will not waste our time. And if I open this one, so here we cannot access. Let me see this one. Okay, access 1. Okay, so here we have this access 1 in this one in this package, and I'm trying to access the same class actually which we have here in test 1. I just want to access in test 2 package. The class name is access 2. I cannot do that. So for that we need to import actually. So we can import this one, and then error will be gone. So we need to import that package, because see, otherwise your program will not understand, like, from where we have to run this action, where we are getting all this. So that's why we will be using this. Okay, here if I say, let's try this. So the icon will be different. So for a default access modifier, there will be a different icon. For public, there will be different. Okay, so let's do it like this only. All right. So now let's move to private. So in this private, what we're going to do here, we will just change it. So private access modifier, we cannot access in same package and in other package as well. So it's like that. So let's try this. So private. All right. So it will be okay. Private and private. All right. This 2 is created here, and let's try to access a same package. First of all, let's try here. So if I access this, it's saying we change visibility for R to default. Either we can change it to default and then we can access it. So, and we can use the getter and setter. So this is the two things it's suggesting me, like, if I just want to create a data setter, I can use it. I can access that hours and minutes variable data member, or I can, change to default. Otherwise, I cannot access this. So this is the two things which I can have here. We'll look into this. We'll look into getter and setter as well in next program, or in when we'll create some other classes. But this is what I can say. So you cannot access you cannot access your private access modifier data members or methods in same package or I would say in another package as well. Why we use this? Because we use for privacy, for security purpose actually. So that's why we use only when we talk about, let's say, if you are changing something, if you talk about the ATM and you want to change, if you give as a public, anyone will come and change your, the ATM pin. But if you talk about private, and if you give your data member as a private, no one can, change your data member, or your, they cannot do any modification and cannot withdraw your money. But if you have public, they can change your pin easily. So, for security purpose, we use this actually. Okay, so now another one, let's talk about the protected. So protected access modifier can be accessed within a package, but not in different package. So let's try that. Protected. I'll put the same here. All right. So here, if I want to access here, let me try. So I can access this. There is no issue. If I print it, it will be print. Same. Let me try here. So if I say here, say change visibility of R to public, or use getter and setter. So this is again. But if I use extend here, and if I can extend my this class, then I can access that property. So let's try this. Extends. And if I say if I give x1, access 1, it's there. I should be able to access this. Let's see why it's not saying. No, it should be. Okay, let's try to create object of this one, not access one actually. No, sorry. See, if I create the object of this one, I can easily access this. So this is how we can access. We cannot, yeah. So I'm inheriting all the property of class access1 here, and I can print their value, what are the value they have actually in hours or in minutes data member. So this is how it works. So now let's talk about the getter and setter. Because see, we just discussed that private member we cannot private X modifier data member we cannot use in different or in same package or in different package. So how we can achieve that? So let's see here. Here, let me change it. Okay. So basically, getter and setter are used for to protect your data, particular when creating class. So for each instance, a variable, a getter setter method return, getter will be for returning, and setter for we set the value actually to that. So how it will work? Let's see that. So let me create one class here. Let's say Just 1 minute. There's one phone actually. Just 1 minute, please. So, okay, let's see here now. So I created one class, which is account. And let me create some data member here. Name. Thing, name here. And then I named, I'm giving as a age. So this is two things we need when we go and create our account. There are so many things which we need actually while creating account. But let's see this, and let me create one method, which is a main. And to access the data member and everything, I need to create my, we'll do a step by step. So we'll create an object of this. So let's say this one. And if I create an object of this one, all right, just a minute. All right, I will use new. I just forgot that. Okay. Here, it's saying exclamation mark because I didn't use this object reference. That's why it's saying random exclamation mark. It's showing there. But before this, so this is the object which we'll be using later on. But before that, what we're gonna do, we will create some methods. So let's try to create some methods. So here, public void, and let's say I just want to set a name. So name is there. I will gonna share, set the name of this. So I will create one. I will pass one string and name. The name is there. All right, and this one, if I use this dot name, I'll tell you like why we use this here. So and name like this. So if I'm just selecting this, you can see it's by default selecting. So my this name is referring to this one, and if I select this one, my this, if I use this keyword here, so it will refer to this one. So whatever the class object will, whatever the class data member we are having, this will belong to that one only, because this name is belong to this class, and this name is belong to this method only, specific to this method. So that's why we use this one here. So I use this one, and if I say public, let's say if I create public void for name for set age, because see, if I just want to change if I want to give or set some value to age data member, I'll be using this one. And because see, we have used here int, we have used string, that's why we have given here a string. So it will be int, and let's say age. All right, here same thing, same age, and it will be age. So here it is, and then all right. Now the value is set. So whatever value we will be passing in set. So let's say if I create here object, so let's say if I set, so I can see age. So it's set name, and I can give any name here. So Ram I can give here. So let's say Ram, and if I say set, and I can give any age here. So age will be age without quotes. I can give anything 34. So I've given the value. So for this one, value will come here, and then age will come here. It will assign to this one, and the value will go to here. All right. So here, let's say if I just, because see here we have set the value. Now we need to print that value, right? So how we can do that? So we can create a print utility. Here, system.out.println, and I can say name. I can make this name, and this one. So now I can print both together. Let's try this first of all, and then we'll. Okay, sorry. Right. Here I can see a RAM and H. So what I did using these two methods, I set the value, and using this method, I can print the value. So even if, let's say, if you have a private, and if you have a private, and apply now, again I can exit this. So as we discussed before, even in same package, I cannot use this, but if I use a getter and setter method, I can access this data members, and I can print it. But without getter and setter, I cannot do it. There's one more thing here which we can see. So let's say if you are here, and if you remove all this, let's see, let me remove, or yeah, let me remove this one. I'm going to cut it. And if I just go to source, and in source, you have to go to generate, getter and setter. So there's a method here by default. If you click, if you want to create getter and setter for both variable, you can just select it, and then your getter setter method will be. I will comment it. Okay. So the good things which we have here is you can directly create your getter. So get will be for printing or returning a value which is name, and for set, you can set the value first of all through this method, and you can print or return your age value with this. Are you okay with this now? Any question?
Yes. No problem.
No question, right? So okay, so this is how we can directly create. We don't need to write each and everything. You don't need to create a setter and getter method. You can directly use this one, and when you have a private as a data member, you can you can access like this. Okay, so I will change it now. Like this. Now we already understand how we can use this, because this we always use. This is a good method things keyword, I would say, to access the class data member and method data member. So we use this one. Now let's talk about more things here. So let me try to create one more here to give you a good way. So let's say I'm just getting one as a class as a fun, and for this one, if I create a main method, let's create main method here to accept this one. So here fun, we are adding this one. I'm creating two variable and into E. Okay, and I just want to create one method here. So it's like public void save data. Okay, and if I give A and B, all right, so it will be like this. And because see, I'm setting a value. This again, I'll be using A, which belong to this one, and A is belong to this one. And then this A dot E dot A like this. Okay. All right, and if I want to access, I can use I can create the object of this one for fun. And to access this, 2.state, it's f.state data. I can give any value here, 4, 5, anything I can give here, and so it's same thing which I explained before. So to access this again, I'll be needing if.a, and then it will be system.out.println. Sorry. Okay, so it will be again f.b. All right. So this is how it works. Sometimes most of the person, when I was giving training to other guys, they were confused, like how we are accessing this keyword actually. So how we can work with this. So that's why I just covered in this our course. And now we'll look into statics. So
I have one question.
yes, sure.
Do you have recording this video?
Not actually. Let me see if it's recording or not. Just a minute. No, it's I think recording. I think it's saying pause recording. So I think it's recording, yes, by default. I'll share this. If you want this, I'll share this video with you. Sure.
And again, one more question.
Yeah, sure.
So, what I said. Yeah, I will forget that question.
Okay, fine. Any confusion you have, you can tell me. That's not a problem.
No, I'm okay with that things. Don't worry.
Because see, what I was thinking, like initially when I started this training, I thought most of the person don't aware of all these things actually. So that's why I'm covering each and everything so that their base will be strong. And then if something we are using in Selenium or WebDriver, yeah, they will not have any questions related to this only. So they will be good with all these things. Yes. Okay, but anytime if you have any questions, you can stop me anytime, and I will definitely look into that. Yes. And now let's talk about the statics here. So static again, keyword which we use in our classes. So mostly we don't actually because see I don't know, I mean, like why we have this static. I know, I mean, like when we use static, we don't need to create object. We can directly access the data members and methods. But if we have, yeah, so let's look into that. It's like let me create only just I'm giving it. So if I select, you can directly click on this main, and the main method will be created. I will remove this one, and Let's int a0 if I'm giving. All right, and there's one variable I have created here, and let's try let's try to access this. If I'm accessing this, I cannot access it because see, I need to access this one. Actually, I need to create. I mean, I need to create object, and I didn't create the object here for a. So if you use something like if you use static with this actually, so let's try this. Static. Here will be gone. So the basic concept is like when we are having any in data member or any method which is static, because this is static and this is also static. So if you are accessing this data member in main method which is static, you don't need to create any object. So it will be like this. Even it's for same for our method as well. So if method is static, you don't need to create any object, but if it is non-static, you have to create object. Otherwise it will not work. It will not, you will not be able to access it. So like this. And all right, apart from this, okay. All right, so now let's talk about constructor. Okay, so here when we talk about the constructor, so constructor is like same name which we have as a class name. Okay, I will tell you one more thing here. So let's say there is interesting thing here. So suppose this is a non-static. I'm just removing this. It's an integer. What we're gonna do? We'll create one object for this. So this is my class name, and I will give something reference with, and then it will be statics and like this. Okay. It's closed. No, I will not able to access until I will use this one. So if I say is dot, it will work. Now, when we say this one, what is this actually? What we are doing here? Any idea? What is this? Janish, any idea? What is this?
Visual?
I'm saying, what is this actually? Why we are using this one?
For the object.
Yeah, for the object.
Yeah.
So this
object.
one, yeah. So whenever we have any curly braces here, right? I mean, see, we have this braces here. So this kind of function, right? It looks like a function, right here.
Yeah, the class function.
Yeah. So this is the function, and this function name is the same, similar to my class name, right?
Yeah.
So that means we are using a default constructor here.
Okay.
Yeah, because as per the definition, we say whenever we use the same name as our class name, whenever we use a function which is have a same name as a class name, which will be a constructor.
Yeah.
So this is the constructor for me.
Yeah, it's called as a construction also.
Yeah, but I didn't initialize anything. I know I'm not having any body of this constructor. That's why it's not printing anything. But this is the default constructor I have here. All right. So that's why I'm just giving a heads up, because see, the next thing is a constructor. So this is the constructor which I have here. So let's try and let's create something for that constructor. So I'm just creating one more class here. The class will be, let's say, let me give you vehicle. All right, vehicle is my class, and here in vehicle, let me create one type. So definitely vehicle will be having a speed, minimum speed and maximum speed. So let me give any here, and I'm just randomly giving a number to that. All right, this one is the, and for this let me create one more class. Let me close this first of all. So I'm gonna create one more class here. class, and car can inherit the speed of vehicle. So I can have any car, right? It can be Toyota, it can be another car, any car actually. So what I'm doing here is I'm extending the property of the class which is vehicle. So let's try this. I'm just copying this here. So this vehicle is my here. I'm extending this one. All right, and let me have one more here. So it's like max, and let me just 1 minute. Let me speed. Let me have one speed here. So it's like minimum 100 speed, and I'll be having my main method under this. So system.out.println, and if I just want to access the max, so here what is saying, you need to change to static. So this we already saw, like because of this it's saying, because we need to create we extended, but we need to create object of this as well. So it's not static even. So if I have a static here, it will work. All right. Let me try to see this into statics. Now it's gone. So what I did here, okay, here, okay, all right. So this was something different. Minimum. Let me create. So to access this one, I just made this static, and now it's working fine. All right. Now there's one more concept before constructor. So here, let's say if I have, let me just remove this first of all. All right, so let me have both actually. So it's a static, it's again minimum. Let me change it to my max. I'm just having this to max. Now I have two variables. One is in car class and one is in vehicle class, and those are both are same. So here when I'm selecting this one, I can see this is referring to this one, not this one. Okay, even I extended this vehicle. So now what to do here? How I can access my the data member which I have in my vehicle class. How we can access that? If I want to access this one. Any idea?
You want to access the vehicle one?
Yes, I want to access this one.
So you have to like a vehicle dot max speed, or you make create an object for or constructor for the vehicle.
So no, see, already I made this static, so it doesn't matter for me, right? I don't need to create any object, right? There's no need to create an object right here, but I want to access this one actually.
You want to access this one.
Yes.
But
Currently, I can see I'm referring this one. I don't want to print this one actually 100. I just want to print 120.
so for this one, extended dot. So how you have to create the one object or anything? Without object you can't.
Even see, see, if I will create the object, right? When I will not have this static, right? This is my static,
Yeah.
right? I don't need to create object, but still I want to refer this one. So there's one keyword which we have here is super. Right. So super cannot be static. So what I will do here, I will just remove this one. Let's say even if you remove this one, and let me save this. And now let me just 1 minute. So here the speed, and let me create object of car. Let me just do one thing. It's vehicle. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just let me do like this. So let me remove this first of all. I'll explain you each and everything systematic way. So if I extend this one, I will remove this one as well. So this is a car. I extended my vehicle here. My speed both is same variable I'm here, which is an integer, and let me create one function here. Probably it's a normal function I'll be using here, and display. Let's say here system.out.println. Okay, and if I use here super dot max speed, okay. So I can see here there's no issue at all, right? So here if I select this one, now it will refer to this one, super class. If I will use only speed, it will refer to my this one, 100 one. But if I use is super keyword, then it will refer to 120, and I just want that actually. So what I can do here is to access this, let me go to the class, or even I can do here as well. So let me create one more here. So it's like main. I'm just giving as a random name, main or classes. Okay, okay, Menti. Okay, fine. And I will have a main method in that. And let me try to create object of tar, because tar is the main, right? For me, vehicle I extended. So this is the tar which I'm having here. So tar and C new, and then I will use the constructor, which is default constructor here, and C dot. I can say what was the display, right? So what's that display here? All right. So now if I run this, 120 will be printed. If I will not use this one, let's remove this one, right? 100 will be printed. This is the thing actually. So using a super keyword, I can, even if I have same name here, I can, I can refer to my super class. So this is super, this is subclass, right? So depend on super actually. So it will be super, and it will be work. Now, as soon as I written here super, now this one is highlighted here.
And one thing more, if I remove the extended from the
this one,
yeah, then this which what is considered about the super?
This one. No, so there will be issue here. So if you remove, there will be issue here. Because see, there is no super class for this one, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, there will be issue here. Because it only refer to super class. Okay. So this is how we work. And okay. Let's see one more example here. We'll quickly look into that as well. So here, if I create, or let me do one thing. Let me just do all these things here. So vehicle I have as a class, and I will remove all this, and I will create one public void or vehicle, anything I can give. So VRO, the class name I have given, which is no meaning of that. So it's like this. There will be one more curly basis. That's why it's showing you error. I'll create one more, and now there's no error, right? So here, I'm just printing something here. So and vehicle V1, I'm just printing, for example, to understanding purpose. All right. So here, and if I create one more here, so let's say plus again tar will extend the property of vehicle, and it will be like, right. So here we will want to do, we'll create again public. It's same example I'm giving you with the function actually. So it's I'm creating same VRO, and it will be right. And again, I will printing us different things here for understanding purpose. It will be B2, right? So now, all right. So this is how it will be. All right. So now here, if I go to a main, or we can do one more thing here. So tar extended, and just go here. So both is having a same function. Both classes having the same function here. So in this case, okay. So if I use super here, and if I give a what can I have? So we are. If I use this one, and if I go to main, I created already object here. So let me just do one thing. Let me just try to access ERO. Okay, so why it's throwing error? What's the error? Parenthesis. Okay, just a minute. Let me see here. Let me try to. Will refer to my virtual test one. It's in test one. All right. So if from here, let me command this. Tar extended to vehicle, and we are having same here, and the name.
Extend the car here.
What was the issue?
Maybe
What's the issue here? No drawing is accessible. There should not be an issue actually here. Let me just look into this here. I created one class extend. Even this one is closed. This one is this for this one. This one is one. All right, so this is not an issue here. Create object of this one. I can easily create this object. There's no issue actually. Virtual car. We are same. I send the property of this one, and I can create the object of this one. There's no issue. Car. Okay. All right, let me just do one thing. So let me see here. Now I think there's no issue. Let me remove this. What issue? All right, so let's try to run this. So V2 is printing here. Where we have here, V2 here. So V2 is this one, is a printing. So it's referred to this one. So let's try with this one. Okay, I'm just uncommenting it. And if I say, let's try this one, V1 will refer. So if I use this one with the super keyword, it will go to this one. Did you get me here?
Yeah, what you change in the
I just, I just missed this one actually, curly braces actually. Instead of, here actually I was having curly braces here actually.
Okay, perfect.
That's why, I was facing issue. And I didn't face any issue here actually. When I saw this one, there was an issue like, related to that curly braces. So,
no issue.
Yeah. So here it's like super. If I use super.pro, it will belong to this one, super class, right? So if I can see here, first one will be V2, which is this one. And if I use super, this is the method, and it will go to the V2 class. Okay. All right. Now let's look into constructor. So constructor, as we already saw, it's like the same name as our class name. So let's try to do that. Let's have same name as a class, vehicle. So vehicle one I have today. So vehicle one is the name. So let's keep this. So this is my class. And if I just want to create constructor is same thing. This is my constructor. So when we have a same name as when we have function as the same name as class name, it will be my constructor. If I say system.out.println, and if I say vehicle constructor, it will be like this. And let's do one thing here. So I will create one more class to just give you one example. So here I will say vehicle main, and it will be like this. And this is my main. So I will create main. So here, main method. All right. So now here is the main method. Now I just want to access this constructor. So let's try to create one object. So if I create object here, and it's a V, and there's a new here V. All right. I will not gonna do here. Only just I did this one. Let's run this. As soon as I will just create my object, my constructor will be called. I don't need to call specifically, my constructor here. As soon as you will write this one, previously you were having this one, but you are not having any body. But here, this one we have a body here. So whenever you will create object, you don't need to give any specific name there, or like v dot constructor or something, which constructor you created. You don't need to do that. You only just create your object, and as soon as it will be created, your constructor will be called. Okay, so this is the things which we have in constructor. Any confusion, Janish?
No.
You're good with this, right? So, so this is the constructor, and by default we saw when we are not having, even if you are not having this one, let's say. All right, so let me do one thing here. All right, so let's say if you are having this one, and you will run this one, nothing will be printed, but still your constructor is called here. But the thing was that, there's no body in that. Yes, when you will have a body, it will be called. All right. So this is how we work actually. Depot constructor we have saw already, and all right. What else? Right. So what we'll do, Janish, tomorrow we'll look into some more things like abstraction, interface, and we'll look into our return function, which will be normal, final, and what is the final, what is the, and we'll look into how we can create, final variables, method, and all that. We'll look into inheritance and polymorphism. We'll look into that, encapsulation. So all these things we'll look into. Look into all this by tomorrow. And meanwhile, you can practice around all this. And tomorrow we'll be done with all our OOPS concept. And from next week, this is what I have planned. So next week, we'll be jumping onto our WebDriver. We'll install, we'll try to, create our XPath manually. And also we'll try to, create our XPath using a tool, TrowPath. So we'll look into why we use absolute path, why we have a relative path and all that. And yeah, we'll try to automate each and everything. And next week we'll cover all the objects which we have normally on the page. So like this, we'll cover WebDriver next week, and then we'll jump into some other reporting and all that. We have so many things, right? Data driven and all that. So we'll look into that, yes. Meanwhile, if you have any question, if